Turkey, like Israel, like others. It's playing a role in this game, not against us only.
The question would be, why is Qatar doing so? For which reason? What was it promised?
No. As you know, there is the biggest two military bases in American military bases in Qatar. So they promised them to be a country with a full power in this area. The Americans deceive the Qataris, unfortunately, and in a short time, the Qataris will regret. American too will regret, because they can't beat Egypt at this stage, and in the next stages. I'm sure what I'm talking about, because they are trying to play the same game with the French government after June 36. The Qataris went to French government to promise them by new investment to work against Egypt, but directly the Saudi Foreign Minister Prince Saud al-Faisal and Ambassador Ahmed al-Qattan, the Saudi ambassador in Egypt, went to meet the French President François Hollande to stop this chaos in the international relations, and to have a new agreements to stop the French government to attack Egypt at this stage when after June 36 exactly.
What we can say that we are really indeed appreciating the role Saudi Arabia as a brother country is doing, that at this stage Egypt is passing by.
Yeah.
And Ram Online in Egypt destroys 10 militants hideouts in Sinai. The Egyptian armed forces have destroyed 10 hideouts of suspected militants in Sinai Peninsula and arrested 4 suspects as part of an ongoing campaign against insurgents in the region. 10 sheikhs and buildings used as bases for terrorist attacks were torched and destroyed in Tuesday's offensive in the northern Sinai town of Sheikh Zouaid. 4 suspects, including 2 Palestinians, were arrested in the raid. And that, of course, is part of the army's efforts to eradicate and eliminate terrorism or attacks that is coming in this precious part of Egypt's land, Sinai.
Yeah.
How do you view the situation in Sinai right now? Do you think, from your point of view, how long would it take the army to be really in control of this area that has been filled with jihadists?
And Sinai, the game is not between jihadists and the Egyptian army. It's an international plan to move the jihadists from Afghanistan and Albania and the Eastern Europe to Sinai to create a chaos in this area. And let me say it to you exclusive here. It's the next stage. Those what they call jihadists will send them rockets to Israel to force Israel to answer them in Sinai. They
have been trying to do so, yes. And there was some missiles.
Yes, but they will try to do it more and more. But until now, the Egyptian army is controlling the situation, and I think we still need 1 year more to achieve a full
fledged
stability, 1 year at least to achieve it in Sinai, to say it's a clean land for the Egyptians to be there again.
Right. Egypt's independent and courts upholds sentencing Adli to 3 years for forced labor. And it says Court of Cassation upheld on Tuesday the verdict against Mubarak era Interior Minister Habib al-Adli and his first assistant Hassan Abdul Hamid, sentencing them to 3 years in prison in the so-called forced labor case. The court also upheld the 1 year in prison verdict against the former commander of the Interior Ministry Guards, Mohamed Basim Lutfi, in the same case. Yes, of course we cannot not discuss or even comment on such a sentence by the courts, but the case in itself has been something that really need to be discussed. Forced labor case.
Yeah.
What does exactly the case mean?
Of course, if we'll talk about forced labor, we will talk directly about the human rights of those soldiers. And of course, they have the rights now after this judgment to raise
to sue whoever
yes,
did the same action with them.
the same action,
Yes.
to take an action against after this decision of the court, to take them own actions against the minister himself, Habib Ladli, the ex-minister Habib Ladli.
Right. And also Egypt Independent Health Ministry, 24 cases of swine flu since December. And it says the health ministry said 2 doctors were infected with swine flu, bringing the total number of infection to 195 cases with 24 deaths since December 2013. The ministry also opened a hotline with anyone or rather on one numbers 105 and 279 to 1060, again 105 and 279 to 1060, operating 24 hours a day for citizens to report cases of bird flu.
Yes, but also regarding the health sector in Egypt, all of us know that this sector need real support, and they need a new structure to build a real health sector for the Egyptians.
Yes.
To face this all these diseases. So, but with this, they don't have a full ability to face all urgent cases.
You mean here that the government should allocate more from its budget to the Ministry of Health in order to be able to control?
Yes, of course, of course. The situation for the governmental hospitals, it's terrible to talk about it, and of course they must reconstruct the wages of the people, from nurses to doctors, all people working in the same sector. If you would like to create a real health sector in Egypt, but with this I can say silly salaries, I think and we can't achieve any success in this sector, and also with no support for this sector. With no support for this sector. What if I'm a professional doctor? What I have to do? If I have no materials, what I have to do? Of course, they are cutting my hands, and they will not support. They are not supporting me to achieve the
appropriate results that are aimed at. Let me here add that at such a case when we are really faced with such a threat, a virus, I guess the first thing we need as Egyptians would be transparency. We need to learn the truth of everything that is happening, so we can take really precautionary measures. I mean here citizens themselves. And the second thing would be, of course, raising awareness campaigns, because not everyone is really aware of what precautionary measures he can take in order to avoid catching such viruses.
I agree with you, but if you don't have a strong governmental sector all over Egypt, how you can achieve this? Unfortunately, we have a very weak sector, like other sectors. I'm not talking about the Ministry of Health only. Like other sectors, most of them weak, can't achieve results to serve the people. But if you have a strong health sector, you can achieve what you are looking for.
Right.
For each person to take the service.
Right. I have only 2 minutes left for me, and I want really to take this final piece of news, and it says from Egypt Independent, and currency black market shows limits of Egypt's recovery. It says Egypt's central bank has taken extraordinary steps to prop up its currency and curb a black market in foreign exchange, but in back allays in money changing shops around the country, illicit dealing continues to thrive.
In this regard, I have advised the Central Bank of Egypt via many other channels before to establish or to create a new exchange companies. They can rely on it. By the way, most of the exchange companies in the Egyptian market owned by the members of MBB Muslims Brotherhood, so of course they will play against the central bank and against the government. So, but unfortunately, the government don't like to listen. The central bank chief don't like to listen. So what we have to do, we are just giving an advice.
That's one piece of advice that should be put into consideration. Mr. Mohamed Elalfy, political and economic expert, thank you very much for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you very much. Dear viewers, many thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the top stories coming right after this program.